Welcome back to Hardly Minding My Business. I am your host, Dashing D. Whew. I'm here. Listen, when I came on last time I released an episode, and I said, oh, things are, getting better and things are great, and, um, I'm good. I thought I was. I really did. Do y'all ever have that moment where you're like, oh, this is okay. Today was okay. It was cool. I'm good, seems like things are normalizing, and then you realize that the shitstorm is just beginning. That's kind of what happened with me. So I just had a lot on my plate. And last week, I just felt like, I can't even catch up. I don't know what to do. I'm not someone who typically falls behind on their work, and I fell behind. Like, I couldn't, and it was beyond my control. Like, there was just a million things happening at one time and just not enough hours in the day. And I've just been incredibly overwhelmed and stressed and all of the things. So, I had to deal with that. But I can't say that everything is completely better now, but I had to deal with that and I'm dealing with it. I'm trying to come up with better ways of dealing with those types of moments, right? So when it comes to work specifically, I realize that I need to sometimes get out of my work from home space, and switch up the scenery. At home, a lot of people love working from home, and I really enjoy working from home too. But working from home also means that you have all of your creature comforts available to you, and that can be distracting sometimes. I also live on a block that is, I would say, for the last 2-3 years, there have been construction in some way, shape, or form throughout the day. So some days I don't even notice it. Other days there's a crane beeping in the background and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So I realized that I gotta get up and get out sometimes when it comes to working. So last week I actually ended up going into the office, even though I didn't have to. But I ended up going in on days where people weren't there. It was just like me and one other person, which was really good because I could set up and I could do what I needed to do, and I got a lot of work done. I've been able to catch up on my work. And then today, actually, I did something that I've been talking about doing for a while. I went to a cafe in my neighborhood and took my laptop and just worked from there, and that was great. It was nice. I got up, I got dressed, I put on some nice clothes. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna take this little walk and work from there. It was actually a really cool spot. I've never been there before. It's Black owned. I think there are 5 partners. They're all South African, I believe, and it's called Co Cafe. I met one of the partners. He seems really cool. They have such a cool space in there. As a matter of fact, they even have a podcast space in there, and I was like, ooh, this could be good for like some live content or something like that. I don't know. I've never considered doing live content before, but I think that would be kind of fun, especially now that there's this video component of the podcast. Maybe that's something that, I should consider down the line. But yeah, or maybe in the near future, who knows? So that was cool, and I met some really dope people while I was there. I think that's another reason why I need to get out a little bit more, because I just feel like my exposure to humans lately seems so limited, especially because I was going into the office regularly, and now I'm really not doing that. Not because of me, but just in general, that's not required of me at this point. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm still working out. I'm still trying to do that. I'm actually trying to add more exercise to my workouts. Not to overdo it, but I feel like, I'm seeing progress in some areas, but I'm not seeing progress in other areas. So I'm trying to, let's just say, the part that you guys can't see on this video is doing better than the part that you can't. So I really want to, start adding some more things, some more exercises into what I'm doing, just to make sure that, we're working on total body. We're making sure that the whole shebang is shebanging, okay? So that's what I've been trying to do. Stay focused, drink my water. I would say mind my business, but then where would we be here, right? So I don't know. I'm here, I'm alive, I'm good. I'm hanging in there. It's just one of those times. This has been a really, really busy quarter, and I'm good with March ending. I really am. Like, I know we're only at the beginning of March, but I'm like, okay, when is this? Let's wrap this up, okay? But yeah, so that's what's going on. Actually, funny story, speaking of hardly minding my business. So while I'm in the coffee shop, there's people coming in and out. It's a new coffee shop. It only opened a few weeks ago. So people are still trying to get to know it. A lot of people that are going in there have never been there before. And a woman comes in and she is talking to someone else about how, I believe she's a blogger, and she goes to different restaurants and coffee shops, wherever, places to go, basically. And she blogs about it, posts about it, all of that. And and so I'm like, ooh, I like to go places. I like to eat. I like to go out. So I was curious about her handle. I heard her telling someone else. So me eavesdropping, I go to my phone, I go to TikTok, I try to find her. And then I find it, but I'm not totally sure it's her. So she's walking by and I'm like, hey, hi. Don't mean to be nosy, but heard what you do, really interested in this. Is this you? So we start chatting, and she's like, oh, you do a podcast. I tell her about my podcast, blah, blah, blah. She's like, okay, I'm gonna follow you. She's like, what is your podcast called? And I'm like, hardly minding my business. She's like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's fine. We start laughing about that. And then I was like, really appreciate you being super cool about me overhearing your conversation and asking you about your handle. I was like, what? But I guess I wouldn't be hardly minding my business if, she was like, you're absolutely right. She was like, you know what? On brand, and you know what? You're supposed to stay on brand. So I dig it, and I really appreciated that. I just thought that was really funny because I was like, ooh, I didn't even realize that moment was happening when I did it. I was like, ooh, I really was listening to these people's conversation. But it's kind of hard not to when you're in the earshot in a public place and they're speaking freely. It was fine. It was cool. I just thought that was funny. But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's really all I got going on as far as updates go. I would like to, just like leave this life behind and go, I don't know, live somewhere warm and do something really fun. That's where I'm at right now. Like, take me someplace cool and fun where I don't have to worry about anything, with limitless amount of funds. Okay? Can I win the lottery or something? There's this running joke in my family that my mom is going to be the person to win the lottery. I don't really play the lottery. Maybe I've played it, but it's not something I do regularly. But we have this running joke in our family because my mom will buy a lottery ticket and she'll win. She won't win the jackpot, or she'll do a scratch off, and she won't win whatever the grand prize is, but she'll win like decent amounts of money. Like she'll win $50 here, $100 here, $20 here. She's also one of those people who's always saying that she got a check from a class action suit in the mail. It'll be like the People versus, I don't know, Barnes and Noble, and they're like, we owe you $25 from the last time you know, bought a book. Random shit. But so I'm waiting on my mom to win the lottery, I gotta be honest. And then I can move to this island and I could just, it doesn't have to be an island, just someplace warm. Someplace where the temperature doesn't drop below a certain temperature. I would be good with that. I'd be like, okay, we're good, you know, like let's keep this going. Let's, you know, I offered to my niece when she was little, it's always stuck with me. When she was little, she was like, I don't know, I guess I was maybe interviewing or something like that, and I was talking about it around her, and she was like, well, why don't you just sell ice cream? And I was like, what? She was like, you could sell ice cream at the beach. And I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea, okay? I could totally see me with the ice cream stand in a cute little, you know, outfit, selling ice cream on the beach. That seems simple. Just, but again, need unlimited funds, because selling ice cream, I don't know if that's gonna pay the bills. I don't know if that's gonna allow me to maintain the lifestyle I would like to maintain. So we'll see. But yeah, so that's my, you know, hope and dream right now. That's the short-term hope and dream. Anyway, here enough for this week. Y'all gotta stop making Black men, and by y'all I mean whoever's doing it. Somebody recently said to me, you be saying y'all, like, why are you talking to your listeners like that? I hope you guys know that when I say y'all, if it doesn't pertain to you, it doesn't pertain to you. That's the way this works. But y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta allow Black men to exist in the world. You have to allow them to be in the world. There is a lot of tension between Black men and Black women. I don't want to talk about that. We could talk about that till we're blue in the face. That is a real thing. I'm not ignoring that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. What I do want to say is people need to be allowed to exist. People need to be allowed to exist in the world in the way that they want to. People also need to be allowed to be free, to show affection, to show love, to show who they are, to express themselves. Whether a man wants to wear a pink coat, cross his legs, purse his lips, whether he wants to hug or kiss his male friend, men out in the world need to be able to do whatever it is they need to do to exist. They should be able to wear what they want to wear, speak how they want to speak, talk to who they want to talk to, without causing harm to others, of course. I'm not saying, again, this is not about anything negative. This is about the recent conversation, the recent social discourse surrounding Black men. Black men are allowed to have safe spaces. They are allowed to feel, they should be allowed to feel safe among other Black people, at the very least. This thing that we're doing as a collective, and again, if it pertains to you, it pertains to you. If it does not, then it doesn't. But this thing that's happening where every time we see something that is remotely loving or affectionate or feminine or typically feminine, or the list goes on, Black men are being admonished for it. Jonathan Majors, no one said anything. No one got upset when Jonathan Majors was on the cover of Ebony in his little shorts and no shirt on, giving out roses. because that's what the boys do, right? That's what people think. And then the next Ebony cover comes out. He's wearing a pink coat. He's pursing his lips. He's crossing his legs. And now it's a problem. Now it's a conversation. Now it's not a safe space. Now we're trying to emasculate black men. Sometimes a photo shoot is just a photo shoot. I will say that and have said that on LHRC. I don't need to get into that. That's not why I'm bringing this up here. The reason I'm bringing this up here is because that isn't where it ended. Then it became, oh, what's this relationship between Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan, the two of whom we will talk about in a minute. Then I follow Black Man Can on, I think it's the Black Man Can, on Instagram, where they post like different things like black men doing great things in the world, black men being fathers, black men, you know, and their friendships, black men loving their women. There's a whole lot of different types of content, but it's supposed to be a positive space to highlight good things that are happening with black men. So I follow it because I think that's really fucking cool. I saw a post where they highlighted all these men who were at weddings. I don't know if they were all the groom in each of the photos, but all of them were crying. It was like it was a carousel of different weddings, and it was all like men getting emotional at a wedding. And they had like this really nice caption underneath about, you know, being touched by that moment or something like that. I truly can't remember. You can totally look it up. It was very recent. And then you got to the comments and it was like, why the fuck are they crying? They need to stop, blah, blah, blah. I just want to point out, anyone who is interested in black men and you're interested in like relationships with black men or loving black men or dating black men or anything like that, and that is the stance you take, think about it this way. When you date someone, when you are in a relationship with someone, you choose to marry someone, whatever the circumstances are, you want to feel like you are in a safe space, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever. But there is this narrative happening on the internet, and I know it's not everybody, but it's a shit ton of people on the internet who think that men crying is ridiculous, who think that men who show emotion are a problem, who think that A$AP Rocky supporting his woman on the cover of Vogue is a problem. This shit is ridiculous. I don't understand it. All of us deserve safe spaces. All of us deserve to feel like we can emote, feel like we can exist. That especially when we're in certain situations, that we can let our guard down. It's really frustrating to see. I know it exists. I know it happens all the time, but it's like, why are y'all so mad? Like, what the fuck are you mad about? I don't get it. Joy, you don't like. Affection, you don't like. Happiness, you don't like. A black man who supports a black woman, you have a problem with. Like, please. Why? It doesn't make any sense. That's my petty or not. Like, fuck that. Fuck that perspective, because it's ridiculous. I don't like it. I'm not into it. I said that I didn't want to repeat everything that happened with the Jonathan Majors and the Michael B. Jordan and the A$AP Rocky stuff, because a lot of that stuff was covered on Let's Have a Real Conversation. But I wanted to make sure that I made it clear that we appreciate black men over here at the Hardly Minding My Business podcast. No, the relationship is not 100% every single day of the year, okay? I just think we need to acknowledge that we can't ever speak in absolutes, and there are plenty of those who are deserving of that support. So I'm gonna just say that. So let's get into it. Creed 3 came out. Now, normally I would talk about this in what I'm watching, but I'm going to be a little all over the place today because I feel like this deserves more than, that section of, ooh, okay, you okay? All right. So Creed 3 came out. I did see it. Ant-Man and the Wasp came out. I saw that as well. We know that Jonathan Majors is in both of those films. We had talked about that before, and I said that I would go see both of them. I did. Ant-Man and the Wasp was interesting. It was interesting. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it other than it was interesting, and I was really excited to see Jonathan Majors play a villain. And he did that. He did that shit. He did a great job. He played King the Conqueror. It was great. He was great. And then Creed 3 came out. He starred alongside Michael B. Jordan, who also directed the film. And I have a few notes. I won't get too much into it. It just came out a few days ago. It hasn't even been a full week since it came out, so I don't want to spoil anything. I'm sure we'll talk about it in more detail on Let's Have a Real Conversation. Just so y'all know, I'm always gonna plug. I'm always gonna plug the other podcast. So I'm just saying, the same way I plug Hartley over there. But so I was very pleased with the amount of body that I got to see from both gentlemen. I will say specifically about Michael B. Jordan that Michael B. Jordan looks damn good in a suit, okay? He can wear a suit, and I like that. I like a man who can wear a suit. I do. I don't know what it is. It kind of, it just, oof. Especially men that you don't normally see in suits. They step out in a nice suit and you're like, ooh, hey, hi, that's cute. That's sexy. I like it. So yeah, that was one of my takeaways that have nothing to do with the film. Also, I liked the energy. Okay, so how do I say this without telling the film? It gets to a point in the film, Michael B. Jordan, when the film starts, this is not a spoiler, when the film starts, Michael B. Jordan's character has retired from boxing, okay? So he is in a different stage in his life, right? The boxer energy is not really coming out and showing itself in the way that it would when he's actually getting in the ring, right? So there is a point in the film where it's like something switches in him and his energy changes. In fact, there is one particular scene where he's doing an interview, and you see that energy shift, right? That was the point in the film where I was like, okay, let me see you now. Go take off your shirt. Not just go box. Go do something. Go fight. Yes. I was into it. I was into his energy. And can we pull over for a second and talk about the fact that he just got a star on the Walk of Fame? Now, I know we talked about this fairly recently, where we said that the Walk of Fame is cool, but, you kind of have to pay for it. So is it really that cool? I still think it's pretty cool because everyone can't get one. Like, if I try to apply for a star on the Walk of Fame and I have the money to put up for it, they're not going to approve me. You still have to have certain credentials in order to get it. So it counts. I mean, we think that Grammys count and people pay for their Grammy seats. They gotta pay for the table. I'm pretty sure it's something like $2,000, I think, to go to the Grammys, which, whatever. I just, you know, a lot of things in life are transactional. A lot of things in life are very transactional. So I don't want to diminish the fact that he has a star on the Walk of Fame. I think that it's still a great accomplishment to be able to walk down and see your name on a star. I just think it's pretty cool. It's on Hollywood Boulevard, right? I've been to California many times. I've never been to Los Angeles. Someday I'll go, I promise. Well, I can't promise that, but someday I'll make it there. Anyway, so that happened. Back to Creed 3. Just want to point out, Creed 3 did insane numbers in the box office. I think it's at the top in terms of sports films. So that's great for them. What else can I say? Did I like the film? Did I not? I liked it. I just think that there were things about it that I didn't totally care for. But overall, I thought it was solid. I thought it was a decent sequel. I thought it was a decent third movie in a series. So that's a good thing. You know, like I would not discourage anyone from seeing it. I didn't think it was a bad film. I just thought it was, this is cool. And I also think it's really cool that Michael B. Jordan directed it. And I said a long time ago when I watched The Wire, I said this to somebody and they were like, you didn't watch The Wire a long time ago. Correction. A year and a half ago or 2 years ago, when I finally watched The Wire, I said that anything Wallace does, I will support. And since then, I have supported every film that Michael B. Jordan, I don't think it's been that many, but I've supported every film that Michael B. Jordan has done since then. Why? Because Wallace got the short end of the stick. And that's it. That's just the way I feel. He's got to do something really fucked up, Michael B. Got to do something really fucked up for me to not go see a Michael B. Jordan movie. So far, we've been okay. But rest in peace to Wallace, because why they have to do him like that? Speaking of The Wire, though, can we talk about Wood Harris? I love me some Wood Harris. I think Wood Harris is super dope. He's super talented. I feel like he's not talked about enough. Okay, listen, the list of jobs that Wood Harris has had is long, okay? I think he got his start. Above the Rim was his first film, but he's been in a million other things since then. Notably, Remember the Titans. The Wire. He played Avon Barksdale. I love Wood Harris. I actually saw an interview that he did with the Higher Learning podcast a few days ago. And it was so nice to hear him talk and talk about his career and the things that he's worked on and being a part of the Creed franchise and talking about working with Michael B. Jordan and saying how he's known Michael B. Jordan since he was 15. And he's like a little brother to him, and it was cool to be directed by him. I just thought that was great. I thought he was so humble. He was so sweet, and I loved it. And I would like to see Wood Harris in anything that Wood Harris does. That's kind of like, he's one of those for me. If he's in it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go see it, or let me check it out, because this Wood Harris is in it. Why didn't anybody say that? He's one of those people too that's like a sleeper, where you'll be watching something and you don't know he's in it, and then you see him and you're like, hey, Wood Harris. I love him. I do. I really, really do. I love me some Wood Harris. So far, I'm loving me some Jonathan Majors. I'm really excited He's playing Dennis Rodman in an upcoming film. I just found that out today. So he is working. And I hope that his career is long. I hope that, there's more to come from him. And I hope that people leave him the fuck alone, honestly. And let that man, whenever you don't know something about somebody, you gotta pick and poke and prod. And I feel like that's what the public is doing right now. And he is just letting it roll off his back. He's like, I'm sorry, I have too many jobs. I don't have time for you and your and your nonsense and your rumors and your speculation. So we love it. We love to see it. And once again, I'm just gonna say, I really appreciated the bodies in this film. I appreciated the workout, the training montage of, the men doing the things that the men do to get ready for the boxing match. I did, because let me tell you something. Their trainer, shout out to that man that worked out their bodies for this film. I don't remember his name right now, and someone sent me his name. I don't remember it. I apologize. But shout out to that man. Somebody thank that man, please. Thank him. Thank him, because they look good, okay? They look good. And I was pleased. All right? What else we got to talk about? There's not a whole lot to talk about. The Chris Rock special happens. It was live on Netflix. I'm not really going to talk about that here. I know we're going to talk about that this week on Let's Have a Real Conversation. And the reason why I'll point it out is not just because it's a hot topic, but because I am not much of a stand-up comedy fan. I've made that clear before. I'm a fan of entertainment, so I watched it because it was supposed to be entertaining. And I think we've all been waiting for Chris Rock to say whatever he was going to say about Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith and the Will Smith slap. So I can't really speak eloquently about like good comedy, good stand-up comedy versus bad stand-up comedy. I can just speak to what makes me laugh and what doesn't make me laugh. I don't have a whole lot to say about it here, but what I will say is, ooh, he is petty. And let me tell you why he's petty. I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing up the Will Smith stuff, because it had to be brought up. We knew he was going to bring it up. Will Smith slapped him. So why wouldn't he say something about it at some point? Why wouldn't he parlay it into a Netflix deal or, tell jokes and profit off of it? That's what a smart businessman would do. So I don't have any problems with him talking about it or bringing it up. That's not why I think he's petty. Why I think he's petty is because he seems to be holding on to whatever happened between them in the past. And he kind of admitted that kind of guided the joke that he made at the Oscars, which I was like, ooh, but that's why you did it? Okay. That's petty. You've been holding on. You hold a grudge, huh? You're one of those people who holds a grudge. Okay. All right. I see it. I get it. I know that people hold grudges. I'm not saying I've never held one. I was just like, oh, okay. Really? Because we're grown. But all right. That's fine. I mean, I guess. Like I said, not mad at him for bringing any of the slap-related things up. But that was something that I noticed. And I was like, ooh, okay. All right. Yeah. And more on that, more on his actual content. You know where to find me. Anyway. So that happens. What else do we need to talk about? Did y'all know, I know I have a lot of random things going on right now. Did y'all know that the Brat has a hair product line? I didn't know this. I guess maybe it makes sense because the Brat has always had like really interesting hairdos over the years. Like, she'll do braids or twists, or like I've seen her do a cool mohawk before. She's done a lot of different things with her hair. So I could see it. Her hairstyles probably require a lot of these types of hair products that she's selling. So that was interesting to me. I just didn't know it was happening. I've never seen promo for it anywhere. I happened to walk into CVS and see these products, and I said, oh, what is this? It just jumped out at me because I was looking for something else. You know, it's in the black section, and I looked, and I'm like, the Brat. So I'm gonna read these names to y'all because I just thought they were funny. She has a apple cider vinegar rinse that is called What You Like. Y'all remember that? What You Like. A whole lot of. Anyway, there's a So Slick braid and grip gel. The mousse is called Your Favorite Rapper. And my favorite is the Functified scalp spray. I just didn't know this existed, but shout out to the Brat for that. And also congratulations to her, because her and her wife are having a baby. Well, she specifically is carrying the baby, but her and her wife are having a baby. I don't think we mentioned that here yet. And you know, good for her. That's exciting. I can't imagine. I think she's 50 or 48, something like that. I can't imagine carrying a baby at 50. Good for her. Good for her. I can't imagine. Never mind. Anyway, so what else do I have here? What I'm watching. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot of what I'm watching stuff to report right now. But what I will say is, because of the fact that I went to those 2 movies, I was able to see some new trailers of films that are coming out soon. So I wanted to acknowledge a couple of those. The first one that I'm going to talk about is the new Tiana Taylor movie, which I meant to look up the title because I forgot the title and didn't have it written down, and I don't remember it. But the movie is about her. I think I want to say, did she go to prison? I think she was in prison, if I'm not mistaken, and she gets released. Her son is in foster care, and she sees her son on the street, and she goes and like checks on him to see if he's okay, and she ends up kidnapping her son and raising him. And he gets older, and I guess he's like teenager and maybe getting ready for college, and he starts figuring things out. Other people start figuring things out, and the story, I think, progresses from there. That looks really interesting. It looks really interesting, and I like seeing Tiana Taylor act. I think that's what makes it interesting for me. She's taking on a big role, and I kind of like that. I like Tiana Taylor's music, but also I like to see her do other creative things. I think she's a super talented, super creative person. I love when she choreographs. I love when she, you know, gets her acting chops on. I love to see her dance. Like, I think she's such a really really cool human. So I might check that one out. I see Megan Good. You know, we got to do some Black girl appreciation, which is why I made sure I did this. But especially because it's Women's Month. Hello. I know we talked a lot about the men's today, but it is Women's Month, so we should, you know, highlight the Black ladies too. So, speaking of women who aren't Black ladies, nobody was speaking of women who aren't Black ladies, but you know what I was thinking about? Because I saw somebody send me a video of something, and I was like, ooh, it's none of my business. What we're not going to talk about, but someone should. Has anyone checked on Britney Spears? Y'all need to call one of your white friends and have them find out what's going on with Britney. I know that she's out of her conservatorship, and I think that's great. But I be seeing some of these videos, and I'm like, ooh, girl. Also, while they're there checking on Britney, they should check on Madonna. I think I've said that before. But again, this is none of our business. Well, This is none of my business. So I'm not going. None of my business. Anyway, let me get back to the business that is mine. So, Megan Good will be in the new Shazam movie, which is coming out, I believe, in June. I want to say June 16th. I didn't see the first Shazam. You know, I've only recently been put on to like superhero shit. So apparently she was in the first one as well. I had no idea. I happened to see the trailer while I went to see one of those movies that I was talking about before, and I was like, oh, make it good as a superhero. I kind of like this idea. I think this will be cool. So yeah, I'm curious about that. Last but not least, why is there another Fast and Furious movie? Can someone tell me, please? I think this is number 10 that's about to come out. Number 10. And I don't even know if the 9 includes whatever spin-off titles have come about. Because wasn't there one with The Rock? That was the one with The Rock and maybe The Rock and Vin Diesel. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. That was the one that Tyrese got upset because he couldn't be a part of, I think. Y'all remember when Tyrese was on that rant? He was like, we're a family. Fast and the Furious is a family. And y'all are not acting like we're family. And he was crying and shit. Tyrese is always crying and shit. But like we said earlier in this podcast, we said that, you know, crying is okay. It's just that I feel like never mind. It don't even matter. Just, please. Y'all know what the vibes are over there. But someone explain to me why there's another Fast and Furious movie. And then I saw the trailer. I've seen the trailer a couple times and I don't get it. Like, is it that people get killed on the Fast and the Furious? Like, what exactly happens on the Fast and the Furious? Like, is it, I thought people were just driving cars really fast. I thought that's what it was. And then they had like race competitions and things, like car racing competitions. Are people dying? Like, what is this? They made this scene. First of all, there's cars toppling over all over the place. There's a man, what's his name? The one that everybody swoons over. Jason Momoa. He plays, I guess, the villain in this film. And I was just like, but so is he gonna kill them? Is that what he's trying to say? Because I don't really understand what's happening here. Like, what's going on exactly? I just realized that I have been recording this podcast for probably almost an hour and I never turned on my ring light. It's gonna be dark as fuck. What is wrong with me? Guys, I'm going through some things. I'm sorry. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to do. Okay, so tweet of the week for this week is actually, it's a video. I'm not gonna put the video on the screen, but I'm gonna play it for y'all. Hold on. Let me make sure my volume is up. Okay, so tweet of the week is actually a repost that was posted by the Shade Room of Kirk Franklin. One of his kids just had a child and he wants people to bring real names back. He thinks that is what the world needs, apparently. But this shit had me rolling.
My daughter just gave birth to my second grandchild. Beautiful little girl named
Levi.
Levi's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I told my daughter that I think to save the next generation,
we
need to go back.
We need to go.
Mm-hmm. We need to go back to real names.
Real names.
The baby should
What you mean, Kirk?
Betty.
Betty? The baby should have been named Betty. Geraldine.
Ruby.
Okay.
See, we moved too far. You know what I'm saying? You know, we need some more Charlene's.
Okay.
We've got to take it back.
Anthony Hamilton?
Change the world.
Charlene will change the world. I can see it. Jeanette. Deborah.
God bless you.
What in the world? I don't know if y'all heard him, but he said Johnny May too. And when he said Johnny May, I was like, but Kirk, Mr. Franklin, what? Johnny May? That's the name you think we should bring back? You think the baby should have been named Johnny May instead of Levi? Okay. I don't know what he thinks this means. I really don't know. And honestly, I'm not looking to read more into it than it was just a funny video. Because that's all it was. It was just a funny video. Obviously, you can name your baby whatever you would like to name your baby. Please do. Okay? Like Keke Palmer. Y'all know Keke Palmer just had a baby. I don't think we talked about this. I think this happened while I was on that little hiatus. But Keke Palmer had a baby. Her baby has a really black name. And I don't remember the baby's name completely. I just know that his name is short for Leo. And so she calls him Leo. It's a really black name. And it's fine. I don't have anything to say. I have wondered about some names that some celebrities have chosen for their kids, but name your baby whatever you want to name your baby. What am I going to do? It's not my kid. Anyway. All right. And on that note, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate y'all for coming back whenever I come back. I appreciate y'all for that. I appreciate y'all for watching. Shout out to whoever watched the last two YouTube videos. My views are up and I really appreciate it. I really, really, really do. So thank you for that. Thank you for being patient with me and my video editing and, and my inconsistent drop dates. I really appreciate y'all for that, and I will be back. As always, thank you for listening to Hardly Minding My Business. If you want more content from me, you can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram. I will be out in those streets. And please do come on over, follow me, and rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast if you like it. Thank you. Bye.